Hey, it's Shelly Rosemary, Art by the Métis Mama, and this morning I am going to show you how I make my canvas journals. Let's dive into this. I get this open. So I buy these canvas pads from our local Dollar Gate here in Rocky Mountain House. I believe these are, let's see if I can remember, $6 for, so you get 10 sheets. And they are literally canvas. So I am going to show you how I do this. Okay, so let's take off one. Let's just do 2 at a time. I usually like to do more, but I'll just zoom out a little bit and wait for my 8-year-old to come down. Here he comes. Sage, I'm in the middle of doing a video, just so you know. If you're going to be down here, you need to be very extra quiet. Okay. Okay, so the first thing I do is throw some paint down. And I guess because it is, fall, we'll try to do some fall colors. And this is copper. And then I just take my card and I just start spreading paint over each one. And I don't have my blow dryer, so sadly, I'm not going to be able to show you in one video. I'm going to have to break this up into parts, but on your end, you'll see it as one video. Okay, let's do some turquoise. If I can get it out of the bottle. Let's see here. Let's do this turquoise instead. I don't take very good care of my paints. So, just so you know. I think I told you guys this before. I'm a frugal artist. Okay. And if you don't like watching this part because it can be kind of tedious, you can of course fast forward this video. Sometimes I'll watch videos and be like, forget that I can do that on other people's videos. But some people also like watching the process, so it depends what kind of mood I'm in, whether I like doing that or not. Hey, what did I say about being quiet? Okay, I'm just putting a little bit on here on my paint tray because I want to get my fingers in here, different areas. Try to get all that white. I'll put some more color down, but what I'm going to do next is take a couple more. I don't care about getting these canvases dirty with paint on them. Like my fingers on all the canvases, because they're going to be used for the same project, which is these journals. So no, don't even think about it. My 8-year-old sitting over here with a keyboard. Okay. Put that one, and then we'll put this one down. This just helps me pick up some of the paint, and then it increases the drying time. Decreases the drying time, sorry. And it also gives a nice look to these two canvases. So I'm going to leave these on the side to dry more. And then I'm going to put one more color down. I feel like red is calling me. So grab my cardigan. I don't use a lot of red in my art. It's not one of my favorite colors, but then when I do use it, I do really like it. So I feel like I should use it more often. Such a bold color, and there's a lot of meaning to red in our Indigenous teachings. We believe that red is the only color that spirits can see. Let's use my finger over here. Red is sacred in our culture. Also sacred in Asian culture too, is it not? Pretty sure I've heard that too. Interesting. Okay. And then I'm just gonna grab maybe some yellow. Just gonna put it right on here, and all I'm gonna do is just do this. It's gonna go a little bit wild here and just be like all over the place with my fingers. And I'll do this and this, and then I'll bring my other sheets over here again, and I'll do this. Pick up some of that paint. Look at how pretty that looks. It's kind of sort of like jelly print, but not. Okay, we'll do the same with this one. That one didn't pick up too much, but that's okay. All right, so, and there's still some white spots, but that's okay. I think next what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit more of this turquoise and just kind of deepen that a little bit more. And then I'm not gonna pick up any more paint unless I really put too much with my other canvases this time. I'm gonna try to let these dry. And then I'll do a little bit of splattering, and then we're gonna let them dry because I left my blow dryer at work. I definitely need to get some more blow dryers. I took it to work to use on junk journals that I was making with the residents at the women's shelter that I work at, and I left it there over the weekend because we're doing junk journals again on Monday, not thinking I was going to do art this weekend. Lesson learned, don't do that again, because now I don't have my tools. So I need to get supplies for myself for there. We operate on a very limited budget, so So I've been borrowing supplies from my house to do art with. Okay. Okay. All right, there we go. Now the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some black splatters. So put my black in there. And grab my paintbrush. Get it a little bit wet. So you can either go like this, which is a really great technique, or you can flick it. But this way is better because then paint doesn't go all over the place. I really like this like black, the contrast of the black on the colors. It looks so pretty. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna let that dry. And we'll let these ones dry too. Obviously I still have to work on these, but I am not gonna do that right now. And that's it for now. Let's just zoom in so you can see how that looks. There you go. Okay, so this is dried, so now we're gonna do the next step. And there's a couple different things that I do with the next step. You can do fabric if you want, and that's what I did with my last batch, was just fabric. But this batch, I'm not gonna do fabric. I am going to do paper. So here's a piece of hem paper, or music sheet I should say, that fits exactly, almost exactly, on this canvas. So I have the other one here to the side. I'll just put it to the side because we're just going to work on one now. So we'll just put some Mod Podge. This brush is too small. Let's pick it together. We need to get new brushes. My brushes are getting old. Okay. This one had some black paint on it. That's why it's kind of smearing a little bit of gray there. Doesn't matter because it's, no one's going to see underneath here. So I'm giving a generous portion of Mod Podge because the canvas kind of soaks it up a little bit, but I'm also making sure that it's not too much because we don't want too much Mod Podge either because it bubbles up the paper if you put too much. Okay, so here's a piece of that hem paper that I've been using as a place to get rid of excess paint that I had on some of my brushes and stuff and on my artwork. Okay, so there it is. And as you can see, it is a little bit too big, so I'm just going to trim off that little bit of overhang there, and same with right here. That's good enough. Okay, and then the next step is, now which way do I want to go? I think I'll do this way. The next step is to fold this over. And, oh no, sorry, that's wrong. Next step is to fold this over. Sorry, it's been a while since I've made these. Like, not too long, but. And then I'm just gonna. Now I could wait for this to dry, but I'm not going to. Okay, now we're gonna cut this in half. Like so. Put the lid back on my Mod Podge. Okay, so there, you got 2 pieces, and I'll just trim this too a little bit. A little bit of an overhang there, and right here as well. Okay, so there, we have 2 journals. So the next step is to fold these in half, like so. And like so. Then you can decide what you want to put on for your focal point. So in the last batch I made of these, so I'm just going to lay them flat for now because we're going to finish decorating the covers. So I need a focal point for each one of these. Do I have, I'm just going to see if I have any already colored small paper dolls. I don't think I do. No. Okay, so we're going to look in here. We're going to do some butterfly girls. So we could do ribbon skirt girls, but I want to do the butterfly girls. So I think we'll use some of these ones. I have these blank hearts where I can write my own words in. So let's do 2 of those. Here's an already cut face. We'll do that one. And we will do this one. Okay, so these really don't take long to make once you kind of get in the rhythm. And I've been making my butterfly girls for a while now, so. All right. So there's our faces. Let's cut out our hearts. I like this one here. It's got a bear on it. And I used, oh shoot, cut the tip of my heart off a bit. That's okay. I used ChatGPT, so, to make these hearts, and they turn out really nice. Okay, there we go. Now we need butterfly bodies, but first I'm going to just, I wish I had my blow dryer. Why did I have to leave it at work? Okay, just make sure that's okay. So we'll just do one just to show you. So here's the face, that's the heart. We need wings, and we need going to be too big. It is, but we can cut it. Let's cut it. First of all, let's cut off the body of that butterfly. And it is a little bit too big for our project, so we're just going to give it a trim so that it fits nicely. Okay. I have to go this way. That's okay. That way is fine. Now you can make your own wings, which I usually do make my own wings, but for time restraints in this video, I'm just going to do this. Okay, now we need a butterfly body. Let's see. What should I use? I do have this cool paper here, and this design is kind of nice. Let's do that one. This is like some kind of folk sort of country art painting book that I got from the thrift store. Okay, there we go. Like so. And then we'll take one of our hearts. We might not need this heart because it kind of blends in too much. I can save it for another project, but let's adhere this to the canvas. Okay, I like to do the butterfly body first, and then I just lay that down, but I don't press it down hard. I wait till I put my wings on first. And then this one. I like it a lot. Oops. Get back on there. Okay. And then our face. Again, these are my own personal faces that I used. They come from my personal artwork that I've done over the years, and I've just taken the faces out digitally and I use them in my art. So the original was a painting. Okay, now the next thing I do is let that dry. And if I had my blow dryer, we would just blow dry it, but I don't. So what I'm going to do next is take my paint pen here, and we're just going to go and do an outline here. We'll go under the chin. And I just gave her some ruffles there. Okay, and then we're going to go around the wings. You want to be careful of the glue. I wouldn't typically do this step unless this was already dried, but because I don't have my blow dryer and I want to get this video done, I'm just gonna wing it, no pun intended. There we go. Yeah, you got to be careful when you're using your pen because your paint marker, I mean, because the Mod Podge, it will ruin your supplies. So that's why it's really important to wait till everything dries before you start outlining and stuff. The next thing I'm going to do is going to take my ballpoint pen and go around her head to make it pop as well. I always use a ballpoint pen. I just like the look of it. And they're easy to use. They're permanent, so they don't smear when you put Mod Podge over them. I like them. But that's me. Okay, and then I'm going to give her some antennas. I think I might go in with a little dot there. Okay. Okay, the next thing is I'll do this later. We need an inspirational word. I always have to have some kind of quote or word. So we have like know thyself, held, old soul, brave warrior, safe enough, resilient. Let's do enough. And we'll take some of our glue. And we'll put that maybe right here. Again, with our paint marker, we're just going to go around like so. And you could do some of these extra little dots to bring in more of that turquoise color. Okay, oops. Oh no, that's right. Okay, and then I'm just gonna trim this here too. And I always kind of like round the edges off a little bit because I don't like the pointy edges. So my last set of these type of journals, I actually slow stitched around the edge, but I'm not going to do that with these ones. I'm just going to leave it as is. But there she goes. There she is. That is the cover. So the next step, of course, is to put your signatures in. So I'll do maybe a hyperlapse of that, and then we can sew it. Okay, so I've assembled my pages, and I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I have 9. Now, do I want that one to be the center page? Use that one. So I didn't have any plan for which one I wanted to be the center page, so I think these ones need to be trimmed just a little bit. Okay, there. Now I just have to sew it. So get my Styling Kit. And I'll do this color. I think it goes good with the colors we have going on. Excuse me, don't start coughing. I hate having asthma. I never know what triggers it from time to time, but I've had it since I was a kid. I've been using different spiritual techniques to strengthen it and not strengthening the asthma, but to strengthen my lungs and work on some of the trauma. Because I've heard, yeah, anyways, that's a whole nother, I'm going off on a tangent, let's not go there. Okay, okay, we're gonna center that. So I think most people know how to do this, but just for teaching purposes, for people that are new to junk journaling. Okay. I don't have an awl, so I just use a needle. I don't really need an awl for the type of projects that I do, so I'm just going to go right through the center, like so. And I'm going to leave a bit of a tail because I want to hang a charm off of each one of these journals. So that's kind of a pretty good size tail. So we're going to go right through the center there. Now we go on this side. And we're going to go a little bit up here and then through. Come on, baby. Go. There we go. There we go. And we don't knot that. We leave it like that. Okay, and then we're going to go back through the center again. There. Back through. And then we're going to come back down here and go through again. Oops. There. And then I always just go under there, and then we can tie this off. Like so. And then I'm gonna maybe go about maybe here. Let's do it. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to see if there's any cool charms in here that we can use. I like that one right away, because it goes with the colors. Although it is silver. I like the gold. I don't have any gold. Actually, I do have something. I bought these when I was in Calgary for my boys, but they don't want to use them. These copper angel wings. I was going to make earrings out of them, but I think I'll use them for these journals. Okay, so what I do is I put both of this both through here, thread them both through. Just bring this through like so. And then I just tie a knot. Like so. So put one knot there, and then another knot a little bit lower down, closer to like that. Then I just trim this a little bit. And there's the charm. There's the journal. And then I do like using like some kind of fabric closure or elastic. So what did I use for the other ones? Or did I even use one? I don't even remember. Or you could use like a clip. You could use a piece of yarn like this to keep it closed. And this is really nice yarn. Could do something like that. So it's really up to you. Like, do you want to use, if you want to use a nice piece of yarn or a fabric scrap. Now I love using fabric scraps, and this one actually does have the right color, so let's try it. See which one we like better. That's still a little bit too thick for me. Let's trim it even more. Oops. I like the scrappiness of a fabric scrap. Okay, so what we can do is take our fabric scrap like this, and you can thread it like through here. Oops, sorry, like this. So it could go, that just kind of keeps it in place so it doesn't move around. Okay, and then come around the front like so. Not so it doesn't move around, so it doesn't disappear on you. And then that's it, like that. Yeah, I like this one better. I really like the color of this, but I love using fabric scraps. Okay, and then the last part is just to kind of give this a little bit of a trim, because it is a bit long, and that's it. And that is the junk journal. Enough. Of course, you can always do more stuff to make the backgrounds better, but there you have it. And you can put pockets in here if you want, but I'm going to keep mine really simplistic. That's all I'm doing. There you have it.